So we're going to just try it out. I hope. Yep, I'm there. Got one viewer. That's myself checking this. I don't even know if this is going to record or not. But if it does, okay, so you can hear me. My wife hopped on the Instagram live. I can see your messages. Ruth, do you mind sending a message seeing how that goes? Oh, she waves and I get to see her. Sweet. Awesome. So Ruth Lopez is the most engaged. Well, I married her, so she is very engaged. Wow. I'm just taking a deep breath. It's been a busy day today, guys. First Instagram live show that we're doing for real. I've actually promoted this one. The main point of this is to become more interactive. The Cut and the Dry has been a fun podcast to launch with Kip. Just super great to obviously just podcast with someone else because it kind of gets lonely every now and then. And we're launching the Discord server for our podcast, so that's been really fun. The thing that is the only drawback with the Newsbrief is the fact that I don't get to interact with anyone else except when Ruth sits in on the couch, and that provides like at least some person that I'm talking to. So this is hopefully to be the Discord server for the Brief News Brief, because we'll do some current events discussion on here, just to have a live show. And I'm just going to go through my inbox and look at the top stories from today. Really, I've set this one inbox up to where I've subscribed to multiple news sites across the aisle. So I'm not stuck with just Fox News and CNN. I'm also subscribed to The Blaze. I'm subscribed to the Daily Beast, and I get their daily newsletters. It's kind of more like hourly. I also get New York Times. So really, if I leave this inbox alone, we're at 403 unread emails, and that's just in this week. So normally I do my best to try to keep up with it, but it keeps me posted on a lot of things, and it's a really great way to stay involved in current events because you get to see the headlines, and then B, you can just follow the headlines that interest you, right? So you don't have to be super methodical about what you want to learn about. You can just have it come into your inbox and then go from there. So that's kind of my method when it comes to the show here, like the live Instagram show. It's going to be like that until people join. And if people don't join, that's fine. We're going to go for 15, 20 minutes. We're already about 3.5 minutes in. And right now it's just my wife and I, which is just like all the other news briefs, but that's okay. Also, this one is still very much flying by the seat of my pants because I just got back from basketball practice, and I haven't really had time to even sit down and look at my inbox. So this is really just stream of consciousness. And also, if you guys ever, because hopefully this will be an opportunity for you guys to know I'm going to be on Instagram Live every Monday evening. It might vary within the half hour, but I'll try to get on every Monday evening. And if you guys bring up something that you want to talk about, whether it's life-giving, current events based, or anything, that's what this show is all about, to kind of get to build some of that discussion and conversation. All that being said, let's jump into some top stories. There is one thing that I want to get to before we get to the stories, because a lot of the listeners to the podcast, probably 50% of them are from Moscow, which makes sense because that's where my friends and family are, right? So that's where the people that care about me are living, and that's where. Ruth is giving me a look. We also have family in Minnesota, and that's probably like one of the top 3 or 4 subscriber bases. So my family cares for me out there as well. There's no distinction. as you can tell, this is going to be a super casual show. I really enjoy it. And also, I mean, it's just a great way for me to, I don't know, experience more about what podcasting is like in these live shows. Because what I do a lot is scripted. Obviously, I write the scripts. I research what's going on out there, and then I try to figure out what exactly I think the listeners can glean the most from. And all these things we can get into later, but like I said, for those of you listening in Moscow, there is the mask order is up for an update right now downtown. And that is something that I just wanted to touch base on because I emailed every single council member. I emailed the mayor. Now that sounds cool, but it was just an old email that I resurrected from previous mask update council meetings, and just sent it to them to just let them know, hey, this is my position on it. I'm all for ending the mask mandate. I think businesses are well within their rights to make their own mandates when it comes to people in their private business. I have no issue with that. But I just emailed the council members and let them know, hey, I would appreciate if you would let the individual decide when it comes to the public spaces. I don't think the city has a lot of cause and justification at this point in the game to order a citywide mask mandate. And so that's what is up specifically for debate right now is just deciding the metrics. So I got multiple replies from council members. I think that Ann Zabala was the most helpful, very kind in her response. Note that when I emailed her, I wasn't cursing at her. I wasn't angry with her. I just let her know that I appreciate the pressure that them and anyone in leadership positions are across the country, that I'm praying for them, and that I just let them know I would greatly appreciate if you did not extend the order, because I think that it causes more fear and division throughout our city, which is a wonderful, wonderful place to live, but has been challenged in this time because of their decisions. And also the responses to those decisions. And I think you have to take that into account, not only just judging the metrics, right? So I think we've been thinking about very one-dimensional. But there's going to be a lot of talk coming up in the next month or so, as I think this mask mandate is set to expire on the 5th of January. And right now, what Ann was basically responded to me in that their decision that legally, yes, they have to have an end date to the decision, right? So it's not just an emergency order. It's not just this unqualified power that city council gets to enjoy and ruthlessly hang over us and just hold on to that power, right? It's not like that. Legally, they have to have a date to accompany the decision. But apparently the framework they're considering, this is almost quoting word for word the email I got, in the criteria that must be met, it's really, when it comes down to it, that it has to hit these two categories. So there's the quantitative. LATAW needs to be placed on the minimal risk category. So new daily cases must be less than 1 case per 10,000 people based on a 7-day moving average. So that means that the test results must be reported 1 to 4 days, and it needs to be less than 4 confirmed cases a day for LATAW. Is what my understanding is. And then there's the qualitative part of this that she said it really depends on what stage Idaho as a general is in, and the Idaho Rebounds opening plan, and then the recommendations from all of these, like all of these different health codes and scientists and all of these people that chime in on this. and then also the COVID-19 conditions in Whitman County, because I think that's another thing that they really do take into consideration is the fact, what are our brothers doing over in Washington? It's it's really easy to just think of Idaho, right? But you've got to consider that there's a lot of traffic between Pullman and Moscow, and a lot of traffic between the two counties of Whitman and Latah. And I think that's fair. I mean, we can't think so one-dimensionally that it's just Latah. But um, that being said, my stance is still the same. I think that since the pandemic hit, we have only been hearing from the scientists, and I listen to the radio frequently. I'm in the car quite often throughout the day, commuting for work and driving for work. Uh, it's and there's this ad that plays that basically is just saying, we need to listen to the science, and we need the science to determine our decisions, and we need the science. If you have listened to the show at any point throughout this year, you will know that we talk a lot about statistics that are beyond the science, that are beyond basically the science, that are beyond just numbers and data points when it comes to health, right? And it goes far beyond the physical health. It also goes to the mental and the spiritual. And we've dropped out those other areas of life and taken a very one-dimensional approach to this entire thing. So I think that's one of the things that we really need to consider when it comes to mask mandates and lockdowns and all of that. So it looked like we had someone join and then hop back off. That's understandable. But you're welcome to chime in on whatever you want to talk about here. And I mean, we're only here for another probably 5-10 minutes. And I've just talked about one thing and really how this goes. But hey, it's the first show we're doing this for the first time. And Ruth waves again. She really is my rock. She has been really supportive throughout all of this. And it's, she asked a question. I totally missed that. Ruth is asking if there's going to be a Christmas special, because we did a Thanksgiving special on this channel. And that's a good question. We are going to. I don't know if it's going to be Thanksgiving specific. Christmas specific. It will be released around the Christmas time, but that will be like our cap to the year. How I'm thinking of wrapping up this season of podcasting for the Life Given Radio is we're going to have the Newsbrief this Friday. We're going to have a bunch of cut and dry stuff coming out. We're going to record on the 19th for the cut and the dry, and that will be, I think, our last one for this year. And then we'll drop it on right before Christmas. I think that'd be the 22nd, and that would be, quote unquote, our Christmas special. And that's probably how that will go. And the Newsbrief, that last episode will be on if the 19th, then it would be the 18th. That will be our last episode, and we'll be done for the year. I think we'll probably kick back and relax for a week and a half or two, and just rejuvenate. We'll probably be back early July 4th, July 5th, and hit the ground running in 2020. Keep building on what we've got right now. At that point, we'll have published 80 plus episodes on TLG Radio, and that's coming from people who do not do this full time. Danny Bradley is working on getting his podcast up and running. Kip has been phenomenal with Cut and Dry. You guys really should listen to this next one that we're going to release tomorrow morning, because it's one of the best ones we've done yet. It was so fun to record. Anyway, I'm actually going to stop there. We had someone peek in. That's cool. It is kind of late, and also there are a lot of people at the Psalm Sing. Apparently, there's a protest happening outside of City Hall, and they probably kept that on the down low for a good reason. I know I couldn't attend. I was at a basketball practice coaching with some friends, but that's just how that's just the way it goes. Greenville, that's just the way it goes. And so a lot of people are there, and also a lot of listeners here are students. So they're probably busily doing homework. I should probably be doing some homework because I've got a theology final approaching this Friday. But this is just really fun. I love doing it. And Ruth, thank you for being the top fan. You really are my biggest fan, and I'm your biggest fan. Anyway, this is going to get mushy soon, so I'm going to sign off. This is, I still got to figure out what to call this specifically, but it's just going to be the live Instagram show for the life given radio. And I'll sign off with this. Remember that the life that you've been given and the life that you have received includes every area of life. Current events, live streams are no exception. God bless.